Hey everyone, I'm Nick and welcome back to another episode of the Scran Line. Today we are making a tropical fault line cake. Now you might have seen this trend floating around Instagram. I'm going to put my own twist on it. Now what's really cool about this particular cake is we're going to be using regular craft stencils to make buttercream stencils directly on the cake. It's so cool. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Before we get stuck into today's recipe, a lot of you watching this video are not actually subscribed, so I'm just going to take this quick moment to remind you guys to hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the little bell icon as well. Now let's get started with the cake. We're going to add our flour, sugar, butter and some baking powder into a large mixing bowl. Now I'm actually using Peggy, my stand mixer today, because this recipe makes a fair bit of cake. If you don't have a stand mixer, that's completely fine. You can just use an electric hand mixer. Once it's all mixed, you're going to add your eggs, milk, oil, Greek yogurt, vanilla extract and some lime extract. So lime extract is actually, you can just buy it from like local craft stores. You can buy it online. Otherwise, if you don't have that handy or you can't get it, just add some zested lemon in there. It's just as good. You want to mix that until everything is well combined. Now, what you want to do is split your batter into two separate bowls. We're going to color one using some green food gel and yellow food gel to kind of get like a lime color. You're going to mix that until it's well combined. You're going to keep the other one white. We're actually going to do this cool zebra effect with our batter. So what you want to do is you want to line 3 7-inch cake tins with some baking paper. I've just sprayed them with oil as well. We are going to be scooping some green batter into there, and then on top of that we're going to scoop some white batter, and we're going to continue doing that, alternating between the two batters until all 3 cake tins are filled. We're going to pop these in the oven for about 40 minutes. Once they're finished baking, let them cool down completely before we move on to the next step. Once your cakes have baked and cooled, we're going to trim them. So I'm using a cake leveler to do this, but you can use a large serrated knife as well. So just trim the tops off and we're going to end up with 3 layers of cake. Now you can see that gorgeous zebra effect in there. That is so cool. I love that effect. You want to pop those aside. We're going to prepare our buttercream frosting. I am using my Swiss meringue buttercream frosting today. You can watch the video on how to make that up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some pink food gel and strawberry flavoring into our buttercream frosting. Mix that until it's well combined. Then we're going to split that frosting into 2 separate bowls and we're going to add red food gel to the second bowl. Mix that until that's well combined. So we're going to end up with 2 separate shades of pink frosting. You want to pop those into 2 separate piping bags, and we are going to add a little dab of frosting on top of our 8-inch cake board. I'm using my cake turntable today. It's really handy for decorating cakes. Place your first layer of cake on top of your 8-inch cake board and you're going to gently press that on top of the frosting to help it stick. And we're going to pipe a ring of one of the frostings around the top of the cake and then pipe another ring of that second frosting in the middle of that. And you want to repeat that until you fill that layer of cake. Pop your second layer of cake on top. Repeat that on the second layer of cake until you're ready to pop your third layer of cake on top. Now we're going to add some buttercream on the sides and the top. I'm using a cake scraper or a bench scraper to help me smooth out that frosting. Now guys, this doesn't have to be perfect because it's just the crumb coat, and the crumb coat is designed to just trap the crumbs in the first layer of frosting so they don't show on the second layer of frosting. We're going to pop that in the fridge for about 3 to 4 hours. I like to do it overnight, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you guys how to decorate your cake in the coolest way possible. I am going to show you guys how to use this stencil buttercream effect. It's really easy and it's really fun as well. So I've just colored some different shades of green of my buttercream frosting, about 4 different shades. I did that using food gels, and I've actually included the color combinations in the written recipe, which is on my website. Now, it's as easy as popping your stencils on top of your chilled cake and then using a small offset spatula to just add little dabs of those different colored or shades of green frosting. You're going to smooth it out as much as you can, and then you're going to gently peel away that stencil, and you're left with this really cool leaf. You can use this with pretty much any kind of stencil you like. And I bought these from my local craft supply store. If you can't find them, I've actually included a PDF on my website where the recipe is for you guys to download and make your own stencils. The only thing is that you can't use regular printer paper because it's really not going to work. It's going to tear. You want to use like a thin plastic. You want to repeat that pattern around the cake once. So once you've gone all around the cake and you've got some leaves on there, we're going to pop it back in the fridge for about an hour to let that chill. And I'm actually going to add a second layer of leaves. Now I'm going to use slightly lighter colors this time just so we can have a little bit of difference in the leaf color. And then we're going to pop it back in the fridge again, and the final layer of stencils I'm going to use are these really beautiful kind of Hawaiian looking flower stencils. I'm using some yellow buttercream frosting for that. Now that I've got that looking the way I want it to and I'm happy with it, I am going to be piping some pink buttercream frosting around the bottom and the top of the cake. Don't go too up, keep it fairly low and like closer to the top and the bottom of the cake, because as you go around the cake and you smoothen out the frosting, it actually spreads. And if you go too in, it's going to hide all of your beautiful patterns. So just a little bit of frosting. And what we're looking for as well is kind of like a jagged look, because this is a fault line cake. So it's kind of supposed to give you the illusion that you've got like a hidden pattern underneath your frosted cake. So like I said, we've got that frosting on there. We're going to be using the bench scraper or the cake scraper to go around the cake and smoothen out that frosting. I've also added some pink frosting on top of the cake. Once we've got the sides good, we're going to get the top looking nice and smooth. And the last thing we're going to do for this is we're going to create this cool kind of multicolored frosting on the top effect. So the way you want to do that is, again, I've got different colored frostings. The recipe and the instructions on how to do that are in the recipe on the website. So we're going to lay out a large piece of plastic wrap on top of our workbench, and we are going to pipe lines of that frosting on that plastic wrap. Once you've got that done, you want to roll it up and you're going to twist both ends. Then we're going to snip off one end and we're going to add it into a large piping bag fitted with a Wilton 8B piping tip. Now this frosting technique is really, really cool. I've seen this done on Instagram and I wanted to give it a go. So basically you start off piping around the cake, kind of like in a squiggle, and then you continue doing that, and when you get to the end, you just finish towards the center of the cake. And we're going to finish this cake off with some sprinkles, because cake and sprinkles are a match made in heaven. And that's pretty much it, guys. That is my tropical fault line cake. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for watching. You're going to find the written recipe for this cake on my website. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all on the next episode of the Scran Line.